Hello, welcome everybody. This is Cruise1st TV, and boy, have we got an incredible adventure coming up in this show as we take you on the ultimate Japanese discovery with a cruise and escorted tour package. It's a two-part holiday that's going to allow you to experience the best of Tokyo. You'll get to ride the world-famous bullet train, take in the incredible Mount Fuji, plus so much more.
And then you'll take a spectacular voyage with Princess Cruises, visiting all the hotspots of Japan, including Nagasaki, Busan, Hiroshima and Osaka, to name just a few. Now, it's a 15-night holiday, and it all begins on the 24th of March next year, when we'll fly you out to Tokyo, where you'll begin with a 3-night escorted tour. And here's Mark with all the details.
Welcome to tantalising Tokyo, where traditional meets the ultra-modern, from breathtaking historic temples to spectacular neon-lit skyscrapers. Upon your arrival, you'll be greeted at the airport and transferred to your hotel, with the first 2 days at your own leisure. Be sure to explore the top sights of Japan's capital, starting with a ride to the observation deck of the Tokyo Tower, where you can take in impressive views of the city and the mountains you'll come to explore in the following days. Visit one of Japan's oldest temples, Narita-san, which is dedicated to the Buddhist god of fire. Before you leave, be sure to leave a wish on the prayer wall. Experience one of the busiest pedestrian crossings in the world at Shibuya before enjoying a spot of shopping in nearby Ginza. And for fans of anime, manga, gaming, or just bright lights, check out Akihabaru, Electric Town. It really lights up after dark. On day 3, the adventure continues as you'll travel to Mount Fuji's magnificent 5th station. Located some 2,300 meters above sea level, it offers a breathtaking vantage point for Mount Fuji and the surrounding lakes. It's then on to the glorious Lake Ashi in Hakone National Park. Here you'll get the chance to take in the spectacular scenery as you take a cruise across the lake, overlooked by surrounding mountains, including Mount Fuji and Mount Komagatake. That evening you'll stay overnight in the region and enjoy a delicious Japanese dinner. And finally, on day 4, after breakfast, you'll visit Heizdeira, one of the main Buddhist temples in Japan, which is famous for housing a massive wooden statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, that looks incredible. And you are there at a pretty key time in Japan as well, because you know, everything's coming into blossom. They have amazing blossom festivals in these places. I just think it's really, really nice when you're going to somewhere which is so iconic and so many people want to go as well. I think because it is Japan as well, I think you have to be very, very brave to book yourself a kind of self-sufficient kind of holiday.
For sure.
I'm just going to go there and find my own way around because it's Japan. I mean, a lot of us, I don't know how many of you are familiar with speaking Japanese. I know our cameraman Richard has been going for years and years and years, and he's getting better, but he's still not quite there with the Japanese. But you know, that would be quite daunting.
For sure.
From scratch, wouldn't it? So to have an escorted experience, I just think is incredible. And to see Mount Fuji.
See all those amazing things. It looks absolutely brilliant. So if this is tickling your taste buds, after that 3-night escorted tour, you are going to embark the Diamond Princess in the port of Yokohama for a 10-night cruise. Oh, wow, it's like a couple of holidays in one, really.
Completely,
isn't it?
yeah.
You're going to have, see so many amazing sights. Diamond Princess, then. Well, we just love Princess. She's iconic with cruising, isn't she? You have got all the things you could possibly need on one cruise ship. And when it comes to dining, they know how to do it. Of course, there we just saw the main dining room. This is the buffet, which, wow, every single night there's something different with foods from all over the world. And as you're in that part of the world, perhaps they'll be taking on some Asian-inspired dishes as well, which is lovely. I think it's great when you go to a buffet because you can try new foods.
And it's not just at night time, of course, as well, because you can go for a nice late lazy breakfast as well and have the biggest selection in front of you, because sometimes the way you start your day is as important as the way you end your day in a way, isn't it?
I mean, if you wanted to on this cruise ship, you could practically eat for 24 hours.
You could eat your way through.
We don't recommend it, but you could do it if you wanted to. But yeah, like you say, a nice big breakfast. You could have a 3-course breakfast, bit of fruit, your main course, and of course finish with something sweet. Look at the pizzas. Imagine being made fresh in front of you. And then if you want something more simple, burgers in the evening, you can. But of course, there's the lovely upscale dining as well and specialty restaurants. Look at that freshly prepared sushi. Delicious. That would definitely be something that I would like to try on board as well. Yum. Oh, steakhouse, that's your thing, isn't it?
It's got to be done,
you love
isn't it?
yourself a steak when you're on your holes.
And there's something for everybody as well, by the way. So if you are vegetarian or vegan or whatever, always talk to us about that before you go. But the opportunities and the options are certainly there for you as well, which is really, really fantastic, because it means it's no worry as well. And of course, remember, if you're taking a big family group away with you and you fancy different things, then you can all go off and eat in different places if you want to. Just come back together for the show, and then, you know, what ever happens after dinner. The
show, the entertainment. We had a look at the nightclub there, didn't we? We're just taking a little look at all the different options of staterooms while you're on board, from interior to a balcony. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. And as well, if you are going with family members, perhaps you want to get interconnecting staterooms, we can arrange that for you as well, which is always a nice thing to do. Perhaps the kids are a little bit older and you want them to have their own space, but not too much. You want to be able to check what time they're coming, their comings and goings, and so to speak. Now we're having a look at the lovely outdoor areas. Look at those pools. Oh, how delightful to be lying by that, reading a book, sunbathing, just relaxing. And then in the evening, Movies Under the Stars takes place by the pools as well. The big screen, which is iconic with Princess, where you get your blankets and your popcorn and you can all watch a lovely film together, which is absolutely lovely. So, cruising out of Yokohama, a day at sea, and arriving in Nagasaki, which is known for its volcanoes, beautiful offshore islands, historic buildings, and hot springs as well. You have to visit the hot springs. Then Busan, from one-of-a-kind temples and death-defying coastal walkways to the country's largest markets and most popular beaches, it has it all. Cruising the Kamen Straits and then arriving in Hiroshima. The historical significance is what makes this place well worth visiting. On to Koshi, located in Japan's Shikoku Island, is famous for scenic nature and delicious skipjack tuna. It's beautiful there. Osaka, the port for Kyoto, which is ideally situated between the mountains and the sea. It's a walker's paradise, but you can relax as well. There's beautiful natural waterfalls. Toba, now this area is famous for oysters and cultured pearls as well. So maybe you want to get yourself a little present while you're there. Then for Mount Fuji, the port, the tallest mountain in Japan, the country's sacred symbol, temples and shrines are located around and on the volcano. Cruising back to Yokohama for your flight back to the UK.
Such a nice itinerary, this one as well. And I know you were probably listening to the descriptions of the places, watching how much of Japan you are covering in this offer as well, in this cruise. There's no other way of really doing it. I mean, I know they have amazing transport systems in Japan, but it would mean taking lots and lots of, you know, train journeys or whatever it might be. It would be an awful lot of arranging, you know, be at this station for that time and this station, you know, all of that kind of thing. You don't need all of that in a place and a country that you may be unfamiliar with. You just want it all laid out on a plate. And remember, a lot of those places you might not have heard of necessarily, but there are going to be great opportunities for excursions on board as well. And then, of course, at the end of that, the flights are all included as well, plus that escorted tour in Tokyo, which of course is taking you to Mount Fuji as well, among many, many other things as part of that tour. So this is for next year, but we can put a low deposit on this to lock in a great price now. So £299 each today as a deposit will lock in this price tag, which is really, really good considering the long haul flights and the stay in Tokyo and the fabulous cruise as well. That's pretty awesome, don't you think? At $3,299 per person. Now, we were looking at the different options in terms of accommodation on board. So let's see what that turns up in numbers. So you've got your ocean view, you've got your balcony, and you've got your suite prices there as well. The suites looked absolutely amazing, didn't they? Lots and lots of space, bigger balconies, etc., etc. Looks amazing. Again, if you wanted to make this all inclusive, remember there is Princess Plus or Princess Premier as two different options there, which adds drinks, Wi-Fi, tips, and so much more from as little as £50 per person per day, which just makes that very, very simple and easy if you want to make that an all-inclusive affair as well. Then you know what your budget is before you've actually gone. Then you can actually concentrate on where you're actually going to on all of these different ports. Of course, you can do your research in advance of that if you want to as well, which is really, really good. Let's go back, because we've got a couple of minutes in the show before we run out of time. So let's go back to the tour part of this in Tokyo as well. So it's the 24th of March next year. We fly you out to Tokyo, and then you start this 3-night escorted experience. Let's go through all the details again with Mark.
Welcome to tantalizing Tokyo, where traditional meets the ultra-modern, from breathtaking historic temples to spectacular neon-lit skyscrapers. Upon your arrival, you'll be greeted at the airport and transferred to your hotel, with the first 2 days at your own leisure. Be sure to explore the top sights of Japan's capital, starting with a ride to the observation deck of the Tokyo Tower, where you can take in impressive views of the city and the mountains you'll come to explore in the following days. Visit one of Japan's oldest temples, Narita-san, which is dedicated to the Buddhist god of fire. Before you leave, be sure to leave a wish on the prayer wall. Experience one of the busiest pedestrian crossings in the world at Shibuya before enjoying a spot of shopping in nearby Ginza. And for fans of anime, manga, gaming, or just bright lights, check out Akihabaru, Electric Town. It really lights up after dark. On day 3, the adventure continues as you'll travel to Mount Fuji's magnificent 5th station. Located some 2,300 meters above sea level, it offers a breathtaking vantage point for Mount Fuji and the surrounding lakes. It's then on to the glorious Lake Ashi in Hakone National Park. Here you'll get the chance to take in the spectacular scenery as you take a cruise across the lake, overlooked by surrounding mountains, including Mount Fuji and Mount Komagatake. That evening you'll stay overnight in the region and enjoy a delicious Japanese dinner. And finally, on day 4, after breakfast, you'll visit Heizdeira, one of the main Buddhist temples in Japan, which is famous for housing a massive wooden statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy.
See, if that was the holiday alone,
Incredible.
you'd be fine with that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You kind of would look at that price on screen as well and think, well, you know what? It was escorted, I saw Mount Fuji, I saw an awful lot in that tour there. I spent some time in Tokyo, £3,000, flight there, flight back. You'd be happy at that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
To know that there is a cruise on top of that, which is incredible with Princess, I just think is great. When you look at the price of absolutely everything right now, even when you start looking at the prices of accommodations here in the UK, and I don't want to knock the UK, I love holidaying in the UK, but you will have noticed year on year on year, the price tags have just rocketed. And that is what is making a lot of people look across the pond, across the other side of the world at their holiday, because they're thinking, okay, well, I could spend so many thousand there, but for a little bit more, not that much more, I could be the other side of the world.
And do some incredible things, go to some incredible places. And you have to do it. You have to do it at least once in your lifetime, go to that part of the world.
Got to be done, isn't it?
So why not book it?
Absolutely. Have a word with our team now, 0800 953 4700, and we've got many more ideas for you coming up very soon.
Bye-bye.